views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts, guests, and contributors, and do not reflect the official views of Real TV, its management, or affiliates. Content is provided for informational and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Happy Wednesday. Listen now, it's a short weekend, so you feeling nice. And production making it nicer for me. Because you know when we hear the little music in Trinidad, we have to go the ding 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 ding. You know, we have to, even though we're dealing with seriousness in Trinidad and Tobago, we still have to have a little fun. We have to, if we get stressed out, I telling you, we could be in casualty from Monday to Friday. Checking me pressure with sugar, right? So, happy Wednesday to everyone. Give God praise, give God thanks for the fresh breath of air. And I'm going to tell all this something, I have a little joke. But I send another message, because I know my parents are always locked on. We have an intruder in our yard, but he's not an intruder anymore, that's my pet. And I name him Nomad. And if everybody know the history of Nomad, they will know what a nomad means. When they come in your country and take it over, with no sort of documents that he's a nomad. Production come up my ears. But the thing is, I grew to love this chicken. He's not a chicken, he's a cock. A beautiful white cock. But my mother is so spiritual. She said, next thing, God, send this cock to protect the yard. Listen now, when my mother has come up with some kind of weird ideologies in her mind. She said that cock mommy was sent from God to protect you. Who knows? But mind you, if I set my alarm clock to come to work for a certain time, bet your bottom dollar, by 5:45, that cock went and crow for 45 minutes. So that cock went and wake me up. But my brother, he little vexed because he say it messing up the yard. But don't study that. That mess with blessings. That mess you see in there is blessings. Because all we try to run that cock from the yard, it dare not go. They lift it up, they try to carry it over. For some reason, this cock stays in the yard. And we don't know what is the purpose of the Holy Fire Spirit. Really and truly, what my mother was saying is true. What she was saying is true. But what I am telling you, sometimes God descends a protection and a blessing under disguise. And every morning, for some reason, this cock would never leave from by my window in the morning time. And he would stay by my window. And he will walk by my window, and during the course of the day, he patrols our yard. So that's a blessing from God. My brother wants to get rid of it, but I want him to stay because sometimes you don't know what God brought in your yard in disguise. And sometimes he don't use it in human form, but he uses it in place of what roams our earth, which are animals. So big up to Nomad. I big up Nomad. I'm a baby. He's a beautiful white cock. I would bring him, I would show a picture, a video of him tomorrow. Beautiful white baby that, patrols our yard. And let me tell you something. When something is that is not of a nuisance, that is very harmless, leave it alone. Sometimes we have to leave it alone until it's ready for its other journey in life. But we're going forward in our show. So apparently, Kaya this morning came into the Piarco International Airport and was arrested. But what deemed to be that was promised was not promised in terms of her getting her medical assistance for 9 a.m. this morning, which had happened probably 2 hours beforehand. And they said shooting victim of Kaya Seeley was arrested minutes after landing at the Piarco International Airport during the wee hours of the morning. Seeley's attorney, Fayola Sandy, was left stunned after arriving at the airport to find Seeley, who was in the United States for medical treatment, had been taken into custody by police officers and led out the back of Piarco. Seeley, who is facing several charges in connection with the police-involved shooting death of her boyfriend, Joshua Samaru, had been traveling in the company of her mother, who told Sandy the meeting with officers had been cordial. Sandy said Seeley's mother was firm the officers had not acted in the aggressive manner towards Seeley. Seeley was later taken to the Arouca police station. So that picture you're seeing there, that's Seeley's mother and the attorney. There's no footage of her getting arrested. Probably later on, we don't know if footage will be reviewed. But what I'm saying is, there were a lot of back and forth banter concerning her arrival. And a lot of people were saying she should have stayed where she was, and some people were saying she should have come home. But my personal opinion is that if you are not guilty of something, I would have come home too. I would have faced the court. I would have faced the state. I would have faced Trinidad and Tobago. If something didn't happen to me, I would have done the same. Because when you hide, it shows that you're running from something. And I agree with Kaya Seeley. Come home, face the court, and if you are found not guilty, sue them until the teeth fall out. I say what I say. Because there are too many times there are videos. I am not saying who right and who wrong, but I'm telling you, if you are innocent in your status and you are innocent in the case, come home and face the court. And if you are found not guilty, I would have sued them through the teeth. My son would have had to get money. My son's children would have to get money. My great-grandchildren would have to get money. My great-great-great-grandchildren would have to get money. Simple. We're talking facts here. I'm not saying she innocent. I'm not saying she guilty. I'm not saying neither no. But what I'm saying is she did the rightful thing. Come home. If you know that you are innocent in your case, face the court. Make sure you have proper lawyers. Proper lawyers that can fight your case and they can show if you are innocent. I'm telling you, I would have sued the court until my generations come down the line. See the way. Because in America this happen. But Trinidad sometimes it be a little slack. But if she's found guilty, the state should rightfully state so. I'm not taking nobody's side. But she took her stance, and I read the comments this morning, and a lot of people saying that she should have stayed where she was. No. If you know you're innocent, come home, face the court. I would have grind my grand and sit down in a prison for about a little 10 days, get my bail, come out and fight my case. But I'm telling you, Trinidad and Tobago saw what they saw, and they believe what they believe. And if it was rightfully so, do your due justice and sue. If they have all the evidence that you did what you did, because I'm not going to repeat it, take your jail. Simple. I have a video of the lawyer, if you can play that video, where the lawyer responded, an updated response outside the Arouca police station, either Tunapuna or Arouca police station. We have one from the Arouca, we have two. So we will play the latest one, which is in the night time or outside the police station. If you can get that, please. So let me tell you something. I am all here for fair justice. If you do the crime, do the time. If you're innocent and you were wrongfully arrested and you were wrongfully accused, or they tried to manipulate evidence, sue. That's all I could say, sue. Because there are too many times in Trinidad and Tobago things are swept under the rug and are not being dealt with. Because why? Sometimes the higher authority they have more privileges over the citizens. So I will play a video, and if we could get that video there, where the lawyer, Fiola, spoke on behalf, Fiola Sandy, let me stand corrected, attorney Fiola Sandy spoke on behalf of Kaya Seeley. Take a look.
International Airport. It's just after 2 a.m.
Yeah.
And tell me what's happening, because we expected Kaya to get on this flight this morning.
Well, she did. She arrived, and although we were given assurances by the prosecution that she would be able to go and get medical treatment and then proceed to the Tunapuna police station, she has in fact been arrested.
Understand? Do you know where she is?
Well, I've been told they're taking her to Arouca because that is apparently where the best facilities are for her right now.
Now, just to make sure, we knew that Kaya was in a wheelchair. Do you know whether or not Kaya was placed in handcuffs at this time?
I have no information about that because she would have been detained in the back of the airport, yeah. But her mother said that the police were very amicable. It wasn't a aggravated situation, right? So, yeah. Oh.
And in terms of what was the next move?
Well, the next move is for her to appear before a court. Yeah. Yeah. Are you all?
So that was the response, and there's another response, but we'll get it later on. From an updated version, she was held there. She's housed in the police station. And what we just got confirmed before we came on air, she got bail. So she's out on bail. And we heard that it's alleged she has 30 witnesses against her. How you are 30 anyway? Holy Ghost fire, Naka Shatter. She has 30, it's alleged she has 30 witnesses against her. And she's out on bail, so she was granted bail this morning. So we are going for a break, and when we come back, we are talking about domestic violence. Stay tuned.
You're viewing Real TV. Thanks for choosing us.
Ladies and gentlemen, young people, senior citizens, it is my pleasure and privilege to invite you to look at the program Inspired on Real TV at 2 p.m. every Wednesday afternoon. Inspired is designed to lift your spirits, to help you overcome depression and failure so you could be an outstanding, extraordinary success. We have special experts every Wednesday who will inspire you to do better, to be your best self. So may God bless you. And remember, every Wednesday at 2 p.m., please look out for the program Inspire.
Hello everyone, I'm Kwesi Park. I invite you to join me right here on Real TV for the program Unfiltered Youth. This series will engage a panel of young persons from a very diverse cross-section of our society, talking or discussing the real issues affecting them in their daily lives. So join me right here on Real TV on Saturdays from 1 to 2 p.m. with repeats on Sundays and Wednesdays.
Hi, I'm Zalisa Budu Singh Rupani, and I'm inviting you to join me for Conversations with Zalisa right here on Real TV. It's not just another talk show, it's a space for real stories, real insight, and real impact. We cover it all: health, law, parenting, relationships, drug and substance abuse, mental health, social issues, and so much more, with expert guests who help bring clarity to life's most important questions. So whether you're looking to be informed, empowered, or simply inspired, this show is for you. Weekdays at 10 a.m. with repeats on Real TV.
We're talking about domestic violence because we tend as a society, yes, more women are being domestically abused or fatalities happen with women. Look, just this week, we had a statistic with a Venezuelan woman who lost her life in South Oropouche by her ex-boyfriend, stabbed to death. But at the same time, we have to acknowledge that there are men that are domestically abused and there are fatalities in Trinidad and Tobago. And one of them is a man dies after being stabbed multiple times by a woman. A 46-year-old man has died after reportedly being stabbed multiple times during an altercation with a woman on Sunday night. According to reports, Colin Anthony Dan Clare and the woman were involved in a domestic dispute at around 7 p.m., during which she stabbed him multiple times. Dan Clare was rushed to the hospital where he succumbed to his injuries. I wanted to watch the picture. So a simple altercation can lead to death. Man and woman. And I want us to understand this situation, that not women alone are being abused, men as well are being abused. The reason why it's not reported, because men feel, remember, men have a built ego. And they feel ashamed to go into a police station. There are some police officers that laugh at them, saying that you are allowing a woman to beat you. But because of how they were brought up, some men don't like to hit women. Because of what they learn in their home or what they were taught. Then there were a next one. I don't have the picture for it. Father of two. This happened in May. Father of two stabbed to death during an incident at Faisabad home. Woman's current boyfriend detained. A 26-year-old man was stabbed to death during a suspected domestic incident at a home in Faisabad on Sunday, May 31st in 2026. The deceased has been identified as Michael Joseph of John Jewell Street, Faisabad. According to relatives, Joseph went to Easy Street, home of his children's mother, to drop off their two infant children when an altercation occurred. During the incident, he was allegedly stabbed and sustained fatal injuries. Joseph was pronounced dead at the scene, and the police is still currently doing their investigations. So that's a male, again, lost his life through domestic violence. But we're going into domestic violence because, as I say this week, and I tell you this week, I'm going on a mantra and banter. Because when all they're talking nonsense in the parliament, these are the things that are going on every day in Trinidad and Tobago. I don't want to hear nothing but no AI and PI. Deal with the issues at hand. Deal with the issues that are relevant here today in Trinidad and Tobago. I don't want to hear nothing about the future. Tell me about it now. Because all are we waiting on the eclipse. So according to the data from the Central Statistical Office, Trinidad and Tobago recording, and let me tell you something, afraid to call these numbers. 33,489 cases of domestic violence reports from 2010 to 2024. We ain't talking about now here. There's from 2010, that I tell all you. When all they go up on them ministry websites, it ain't updated yet because all they can get you is from 2010 to 2024. What happened to 2025, 2026? But we moving along. The most common offense was assault by beating, accounting for 17,189 reports, which is 51.3% of all cases. I tell all you, when I come in, I just come with my facts because I don't want nobody warn me. Because when I come for you, I come in with my statistics. Key statistics, 2010 to 2024. Total domestic violence was 33,489. That's too much for a country of 1.4 million. That is embarrassing. I tell all you, I pass the stage of having mercy. It is embarrassing. That is what nobody is coming to tell all in Trinidad and Tobago today. They're going to get all of the year to year. But then giving all of the full statistical reports. Murders and suicide linked to domestic violence, 443. Highest number, 43 cases in 2017. Lowest number of cases was in 2015. Assault by beating, 7,189 reports, 51.3%. Highest annual figure, 2,646 cases reports in 2023. Threats, 8,935 reports, 26.7%. You know what going down the road? I don't want to hear no nonsense in the parliament. Give me solutions. Highest annual figure, 1,464 reports in 2023. Breach of protection, 2,423 reports. That when man and woman don't know the place, stay in all their house, like all their guru Beth, or for man and woman. Sexual abuse, 877 reports. No reports recorded in 2019. Thank you, Father. Increased sharply from 100 cases in 2022 to 293 in cases to 220 in 2023. Other reported offenses included malicious damage, 866, verbal abuse, 773, wounded with intent, 769, rising violence against women. But why are we getting vexed? What about the men? What about the men? But you see, the thing is, more women report domestic violence more than men due to embarrassment and ego. Domestic violence against women have remained a major national concern. In 2025, approximately 30 women were murdered. 30, not 5, not 2, 30 women were murdered, while advocacy groups reported that 26 women were killed between January and July alone. So January, so that's 7 months. January, February, March, April, May, June, July. 30 women were murdered from January to July alone. The trend continued into 2026. Between January 1st and April 8th, 2026, 13 women were murdered in just 98 days. 13 women from January 1st to April 8th. 13 women were murdered domestically in 98 days. As of April 10th, 2026, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service recorded 98 murders nationwide. All in shame. I had to bring this to Ole because we need a wake-up call. Why do you want to call people names in the parliament? That is what's going on in reality. But we're going for a break, and when we come back, bridging the gap.
You're viewing Real TV. Thanks for choosing us.
Let's get straight to the point. I am Dale Edwards, Dale the Voice, and we're going to get straight to the point right here on Real TV. Join me Monday to Friday, 4 to 6 p.m. when we talk the hard truth. We're not beating around the bush. We're getting straight to the point, dealing with real issues, social, politics, and much more. Monday to Friday, the only place to be is right here on Real TV.
I am Walter Stewart, President of the Trinidad and Tobago National Council of Parent-Teacher Associations Incorporated. Join us every Thursday, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. on Real TV, where we look at NPTA Speaks, National Parent-Teacher Association Speaks, on topical and relevant issues pertaining to parents, teachers, education, and students of Trinidad and Tobago. This, of course, encapsulates local, regional, and international audiences every Thursday, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. on Real TV, NPTA Speaks.
When security matters most, choose Catch Security Services Limited. We are proudly approved by the Ministry of Homeland Security. We protect your home, business, community, and much more. Our services include professional baton and armed officers, specialized K-9 units, mobile patrols, secure cash pickups, secure transport, and pepper spray applications and supply coming soon. Don't wait. Secure your assets now. Contact Catch Security today. Call 622-6601, email info@cssl-tt.com, or visit our office at 30-32 Saddle Road, Maraval.
Welcome back, Trinidad and Tobago. So I will reiterate, as of April 10th, 2026, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service recorded 98 murders nationwide. Several female victims were killed in shootings, suspected domestic disputes, home invasions, and other violent incidents across the country. Court system and domestic violence cases. The judiciary's 2020 to 2021 annual report. So we go into the judiciary now. 1,089 domestic violence matters were filed in the court of Port of Spain, Princeton, and Tobago. Only 209 cases were completed, representing a 19% clearance rate. Are you feeling good about this? So we have 1,089 domestic violence matters filed in the courts of Port of Spain, Princeton, and Tobago. And you telling me 209 cases were completed, representing a 19% clearance? Are you making sense? Are you really making sense? That's what I tell all you. The judicial system has failed the people of Trinidad and Tobago, and I keep saying it. And I will not deter from it. But I have a clipping of domestic violence, if you can play that clip. Thank you.
I once was in an abusive relationship, and if I can emerge from that, any woman can. coming out of that relationship, I found solace in a shelter that I took my then 10-month-old son. Today, I am an advocate for domestic and gender-based violence, in particular women and girls who are affected by domestic and gender-based violence. My name is Dolores Robinson. I'm the Executive Director for GROOTS Trinidad and Tobago. That's grassroots organizations operating together in sisterhood. At GROOTS Trinidad and Tobago, we provide a variety of services, including transition home for women and girls. GROOTS help women and girls to get out of their abusive relationship. When they come to the home, we also assist them with life skills programs so that they can be better equipped when they leave the home. GROOTS TNT serves the community of Tunapuna. It is one of several civil society organizations that are part of the European Union and the UN Spotlight Initiative. Spotlight support enables these groups to keep the issue of gender-based violence on the national agenda, as well as provide support services to women and girls in abusive environments. Education and awareness is a key component. There's this misconception that, if they're not seeing physical bruises and so, then you're not in a violent situation. That is not the case, because domestic violence is a cycle. We have the honeymoon period. We have psychological and we have financial abuse as well. That's why we at GROOTS are committed to making a positive impact through educational awareness to women and their children who are survivors of domestic, gender-based and family violence. Coming forward as a survivor of domestic violence is not an easy road, but it's worth it. You may save a life. All you have to do is reach out.
So that was just a clip. And these are people who went through it. Who went through domestic violence, who went through under the gender-based violence or whatever. And I always say, why talk about these things when you have not been through it? I have been through it. That's why I am standing here today as a survivor. And I want to give praises and thanks. May his soul rest in peace to my best friend who saved me from being 6 feet under. Where I was in this magical relationship where you were being pampered and treated nicely in the beginning, where I was living in an upscale environment, an upscale condo, and eating rice and golden rain. Did not permit me to work, engaged to this person, and was physically abused. And I would talk about it because God saw me through for me to talk about it. Where I had to, my deceased best friend, he died from COVID, may his soul rest in peace. He left work and came to San Fernando to save me, where I had to jump over a gate because he took away the electronic key and the manual key. And that was the day I left and never turned back. That was the last day I saw my abuser, and this is over probably 7 years ago. Sometimes it is very hard for you to leave because you are being threatened. You feel you could change them. And I always tell women, a man can't change unless the Holy Ghost fire change him. No woman can change a man unless he is willing to change, and vice versa. Reality. Women tend to stay because they feel like a change a man, or they feel that that he would just get up one morning and get an epiphany. You are living under an illusion. Something had to be wrong. You can't tell me something different. You had to be living under illusion. Women tend to feel that they could change a man. Man feel they could change a woman. A leopard does never change his spots. Unless the Holy Ghost fire take over the body. But some people are afraid to speak out. Because, you know, they're probably getting threatened on a daily basis. All that is involved. But the onus is on you to pick up yourself and get in mind frame that say, yeah, what? Enough is enough. Now we're supposed to have stronger policing in terms of domestic violence. But we're moving along. 868 matters remain pending as of July 31st, 2021. So you going through a domestic violence case. And you know what I can't understand and what is Gemovex? You just give people restraining order. Yes, they have a restraining order. But if you have an adamant, an aggressive abuser, what I supposed to do with a piece of paper? Pelted behind it? Because sometimes you go to the police, nothing is being done, it's just recorded, because police don't want like to write down in report book. Laziness. So it's just report. They're just taking, what they will do, they will ease the situation. They won't take down the report. So you for years going through something. Going through a domestic situation. And what they're going to do is come and ease. And if something really happened, then they're going to say, yeah, we didn't really deal with that case before. Did you write it down? What did you do? And you telling me, go and get a piece of paper. What am I to do with that? I can't put it behind that. That is why so many women with domestic cases, with restraining orders, have no voice today because they are 6 feet under. Male as well. Because look, we have 2 cases. Within less than a month, male. So we're going down the road. Advocates and violence prevention specialists warn that official statistics capture only the most severe cases and may not reflect the full extent of abuse, including stalking, harassment, online abuse, emotional and psychological abuse. They argue that stronger prevention measures, early intervention, better support services, and cultural change are needed to address the ongoing rise in domestic violence and femicide in Trinidad and Tobago. Important timeline, year period key developments, 2010 to 2024. So they said it again. 2015, lowest number of domestic violence murders, suicides. 2017, highest number of domestic violence murders, suicides, which is 43. What I said before in 2015 is 15. 2019, lowest reports were assault and threats, no sexual abuse reports recorded. 2023, highest recorded reports were assault by beating, threats, and breaches of protection. 2025, approximately 30 women murdered, and I said that before. And we went down the line. So overall, the data shows persistent pattern of domestic violence in Trinidad and Tobago, which assault threats and protection order breaches, making up the majority of reports, while violence against women continues to be a significant social and public safety issue. But we're going for a break. And when we come back, we're giving only a breakdown of how domestic violence portrays itself in Trinidad and Tobago. Stay tuned.
You're viewing Real TV. Thanks for choosing us.
Let's get straight to the point. I am Dale Edwards, Dale the Voice, and we're going to get straight to the point right here on Real TV. Join me Monday to Friday, 4 to 6 p.m. when we talk the hard truth. We're not beating around the bush. We're getting straight to the point, dealing with real issues, social, politics, and much more. Monday to Friday, the only place to be is right here on Real TV.
I am Walter Stewart, President of the Trinidad and Tobago National Council of Parent-Teacher Associations Incorporated. Join us every Thursday, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. on Real TV, where we look at NPTA Speaks, National Parent-Teacher Association Speaks, on topical and relevant issues pertaining to parents, teachers, education, and students of Trinidad and Tobago. This, of course, encapsulates local, regional, and international audiences every Thursday, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. on Real TV, NPTA Speaks.
When security matters most, choose Catch Security Services Limited. We are proudly approved by the Ministry of Homeland Security. We protect your home, business, community, and much more. Our services include professional baton and armed officers, specialized K-9 units, mobile patrols, secure cash pickups, secure transport, and pepper spray applications and supply coming soon. Don't wait. Secure your assets now. Contact Catch Security today. Call 622-6601, email info@cssl-tt.com, or visit our office at 30-32 Saddle Road, Maraval.
Many young women and girls in Trinidad and Tobago have been taken from us before their time due to violence, mainly kidnappings and murders. Trinidad and Tobago is a country in the Caribbean. It is a beautiful country with many tourist attractions, full of culture and history. However, it also has its dark side. In the year 2021, several women and young girls were kidnapped and murdered. It is important to note that these crimes are not only committed by strangers. The most common perpetrators are friends, family members, or acquaintances of the victim, persons they knew and trusted. The murder rate for females in Trinidad and Tobago is at a staggering 1 out of every 4 murders. Among the most gruesome murders documented on social media are those of Andrea Barrett, Ashanti Riley, Rishma Mahadio, Rachel Ramkisoon, and Katisha Kojo. Domestic violence continues to be a major issue in Trinidad and Tobago, and women and girls continue to be brutalized, exploited, and murdered. Although the police have made arrests for some cases, the vast majority of them have remained unsolved due to a lack of resources in some instances and general apathy and incompetence in other instances. The authorities believe that there is some sort of organized crime group behind these kidnappings and murders. Allegations of police involvement in some of these crimes have also been made. In this segment, we discuss kidnappings and murders of women and young girls in Trinidad and Tobago.
The men are living in a culture of violence. They have violence everywhere, violence on the media, violence on social media, mainstream media. So they internalize what is happening there, all right, in this society. Number two, it's in the home, all right? It's in the home. They grew up seeing their fathers humiliate, intimidate, and then assassinate their partners who they're sleeping with and having sex with. Intimidate, humiliate, and then assassinate. Number three, back to my favorite topic, the issue of values, all right? You see, our men are falling behind, and they have not learned to cope with the women who are moving ahead academically. And I must tell you, I deal with a case right now. And I think the parents have compared the boy with the girl. The girl is doing well academically, with degrees like that, married, have a family, doing well in church, fantastic, and the boy has not been doing well. And I have heard a lot of cases where the boys say, well, they only care about the girl children who are doing well. They don't care about us, all right, who are late developers. The next thing, I don't feel politicians and psychologists and social workers have come to grips with the issue of the late developer. I don't feel so. And men are generally behind in terms of their what is called their cognitive and cortical development. And I don't feel we have learned that. And then you have the situation again with their academic levels, their literacy levels, and I do not believe we are looking at this very critically. So there are several factors.
One for me is victim blaming, and the unfortunate thing is that you would find a lot of women victim blaming. So if we grow up in a society where that language is repeated, then it could also affect the psyche of men and place them in a place of privilege where they feel that it is okay for them to behave in that particular way. Two, the definition of masculinity and the policing of masculinity. So most men see masculinity into fit them in binaries. If it's not masculine, it's feminine, it's fixed. There's no fluidity. When there should be fluidity, it's okay for a man to cry, it's okay for a man to be sensitive. The policing of masculinity makes it difficult for a man to be sensitive because, you know, you will have your brethren watching you and saying, "Boy, you crying? Mom to you, boy, so you let a girl do you that and you ain't cuff she down?" And when you are constantly bombarded.
Right, so that's just a little piece. And it is so surprising we have Pastor Dutton on giving his contribution on that domestic violence topic. Cultural attitudes and gender norms, traditional beliefs about masculinity, power and control can contribute to abusive behavior. Some men are socialized to view dominance, jealousy, and control over partners as acceptable, while some other women may face pressure to remain in unhealthy relationships due to family or societal expectations. Intergenerational violence. Many perpetrators and victims grew up in homes where violence was present. Children who witness domestic abuse are at greater risk of either experiencing or perpetrating violence later in life, creating a cycle that can continue across generations. I remember they talk about generational curse. So now you have that upper hand to cut that generational curse in your home. Because what you used to see mommy and daddy going through, you don't want your younger ones to go through. Because when you really look at it, some children tend to follow What they see, as the old saying, children live what they learn. Economic stress, financial hardship, unemployment, debt, and housing insecurity can increase household tensions. While poverty does not cause domestic violence, economic stress can worsen existing conflicts and make it harder for victims to leave abusive situations. And I am telling you, I was one of them. Because I was not allowed to work in my domestic situation. He was the only provider, not saying that I could not turn to my parents. Because I could have always turned to my mother, but I wanted to play big woman. Live on your own. I could have always turned. I have two mothers. I could have always turned to my two mothers. But I refused to, and I was in a financial strength because I was refused financial benefits in the household, where I was resorted to eating rice and butter. Imagine you living in a condo, jacuzzi upstairs, and eating rice and butter every day. Because he refused out of spite. Emotional and mental abuse. Not bringing money in the home, refusing to, out of spite. When I could have gone in a good home, a place where I grew up, where God blessed me with two mothers, my biological and my auntie who's my mother. But they want to play big woman. All of that is being in your mind too, eh? Substance abuse. Alcohol and drug misuse are frequently associated with domestic violence incidents. Substance abuse does not cause abuse by itself, but it can lower inhibitions, increase aggression, and intensify existing abuse behaviors. Fear of reporting, and most men don't like to do them things. If you're in an abusive relationship where a woman is gain your licks, because we don't want to use the word beaten here. If you're getting licks home by a woman, do not be afraid. Report them. That is what you're supposed to do. Report it. But men tend to have this ego and fear, but we go into that. But we're going for the top of the hour. And when we come back, we're going fear of reporting. Stay tuned.
And opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts, guests, and contributors, and do not reflect the official views of Real TV, its management, or affiliates. Content is provided for informational and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised.
You're viewing Real TV. Thanks for choosing us. I am Zalisa Budusing Rupani, inviting you to join me for the rebirth of Apne Sitare, Our Stars, a vibrant and spectacular show celebrating the incredible local talents of the sons and daughters of Trinidad and Tobago. Experience the beauty of our culture through singing, dancing, and musical performances as we keep the arts alive and shining bright. Tune in right here on Real TV every Sunday from 1 p.m. for Apne Sitare, Our Stars. See you there.
Macon Construction Company Limited. Save big whilst building stronger. We build with our Macon innovative building systems, which provides high wind speed, earthquake, sea blast and fire resistance. Is thermally and acoustically insulated. Provides improved construction timelines and cost savings. We provide construction services from design to finish and everything in between. Macon Construction Company Limited. Building green today with tomorrow's technology. Contact or visit us today.
In a world full of noise, choose clarity. The Real News digital publication is your choice for important news coverage. From influential figures shaping our nation to a powerful week in review that keeps you informed. The weekly edition is available for download on all of our social media platforms. Smart, sharp, essential, Real News digital publication. Stay informed, stay educated, stay empowered. You're viewing Real TV. Thanks for choosing us. I am Zalisa Budusing Rupani, inviting you to join me for the rebirth of Apne Sitare, Our Stars, a vibrant and spectacular show celebrating the incredible local talents of the sons and daughters of Trinidad and Tobago. Experience the beauty of our culture through singing, dancing and musical performances as we keep the arts alive and shining bright. Tune in right here on Real TV every Sunday from 1 p.m. for Apne Sitare, Our Stars. See you there.
Macon Construction Company Limited. Save big whilst building stronger. We build with our Macon innovative building systems, which provides high wind speed, earthquake, sea blast and fire resistance. Is thermally and acoustically insulated. Provides improved construction timelines and cost savings. We provide construction services from design to finish and everything in between. Macon Construction Company Limited. Building green today with tomorrow's technology. Contact or visit us today.
In a world full of noise, choose clarity. The Real News digital publication is your choice for important news coverage. From influential figures shaping our nation to a powerful week in review that keeps you informed. The weekly edition is available for download on all of our social media platforms. Smart, sharp, essential, Real News digital publication. Stay informed, stay educated, stay empowered.
That it could affect the behavior of a man. 3, lack of control. You know, going back to point 2 and what a man may think masculinity entails. They may also believe that it is their right to control the woman that they are with, the woman that they engage with. And lack of control could stem or lead up to kidnappings and murders. 4, your personal understanding of social norms, values, and traditions. It might be a little skewed, but it might work in your favor, and it may allow a man to believe that it is again okay for them to engage in that atrocity. 5, the impact your family has on you. So if a man grows up in a dysfunctional home, it could also affect them in adulthood and have an adverse effect. And point 6 for me, it's mental illness. It's my opinion that mental illness is a taboo topic. And because it's a taboo topic, it reduces outlets for men to go to talk. Probably you need medication, and without that you may not be, all your faculties may not be in check, for want of a better term, and it may allow you to behave in a poor manner that may lead up to murders and kidnappings. Yes, I feel safe every day, all day. And the reason for that is, firstly, I trust in the Almighty. Secondly, I am very, 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 very alert. I leave nothing for chance.
I am not satisfied. I'm terribly dissatisfied with the detection rate, and that is your problem. The good book says when people do things and don't get the right punishment, it perpetuates the evil, the sins of the society. Don't forget what the Bible says, righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. So I am very dissatisfied. I think the problem in our society is that we have protected criminals who are protected. Right? So I'm very unhappy that criminals are roaming up and down the deck, and I feel that is I am dissatisfied with the detection rate.
Could always be better, but it's not the onus isn't only on them, it's also on us, and the reason for that is many times somebody knows something and choose not to say anything. And it's only when it affects us personally or it hits home then we want to act. And we expect the same help, or we think that we are deserving of some semblance of assistance, but we failed to offer that assistance to save the life of somebody else. So if as a citizenry, as a nation, we all come together and be each other's keeper, I believe that crime on a whole will be reduced, and violence against women would also be reduced.
In addition to being victims of domestic violence, several women and girls in this country have simply disappeared without a trace. Whether these disappearances are linked to the burgeoning human trafficking business will be the subject of another article or series of articles. It's important to remember that women like Juliet Tam, Oman Nanan, Marina Henry, Abigail Joseph and Ria Sukdio must never be forgotten. Perhaps the time has come for the police to establish an anti-human trafficking bureau and a special unit to deal with missing persons. The families of these missing individuals deserve some closure. Urgent action is needed now. Avalon Williams, AEM's report.
So that's just a little insight. So we go in fear of reporting. Many victims do not report abuse because they fear retaliation, financial dependency, social stigma, or concern for their children. And let me tell you this, when children is involved, when a domestic violence situation is taken place, the reason why some women stay is because of the child or children. For the sake of. But what you all don't understand, when you stay in situations like these, it's not you being affected, it's the child is being affected. The person and when the abuser is not hurting the victim, you're hurting the child. Because it mentally plays with the child's mind. It affects the child mentally. And some of them have deep conceited issues that was never addressed. So when they get older, they retaliate in different forms, And you yourself say, but I raised them up to be a good boy and a good girl. But no, it's what they see, but they never talk about it. Because it is a conceited issue. Some may also lack confidence that reporting will result in adequate protection. Challenges in the justice system, and I'll fed up tell all you about that. Advocates have raised concerns about delays in court proceedings. Remember the last court proceeding, 800 and something days since 2021. Waiting to be called. I am definitely sure some of them end up in fatalities. Sure about it. Enforcement of protection orders limit shelter capacity. We don't have much shelters. Imagine. There's shelters for women and females, children, and they are overcapacitated. And then the shelters for and here how the shelters is run, women and daughters in one shelter. So if I have a son, where you going and stay? That to separate the child. That's to tell you how bad it is. We overcapacitated because cases are not being dealt with under a severe manner. And inconsistent responses to reports of abuse. When victims feel the help is unavailable or slow to arrive, they may remain in dangerous situations. Police just say, oh God, that is just a man and woman, that is just a something and something issue. And they move slow on it. They will come, they will talk, and they go leave. But they don't deal with the issues at hand. That is the situation. And then when the person becomes a statistic, then they will jump up and say, oh God, I shoulda and I shoulda. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Hush your mouth. Because I have no feelings for none of you. Everybody, you don't want to go down in the station and write in the book and write a report because the report too long. Laziness come out of here. But we're going for a break. We're dealing with domestic violence. Because all the nonsense they talk in the parliament, they're not addressing these. So we are addressing it on Bridging the Gap. Stay tuned.
You're viewing Real TV. Thanks for choosing us.
Hello, everyone. I am the Reverend Clifford Rawlins, minister of the Diego Martin United Church and a published author. I am inviting you to join me on Real TV for Honest to God, where we are honest with what Scripture is and says and addressing topical issues in Christianity in a postmodern context and post-colonial Caribbean landscape. Provocative, controversial, stimulating, and above all, openly honest. Every Tuesday at 2 to 3 p.m. right here on Real TV.
Honest to God, I'm coming clean. Honest to God.
Let's get straight to the point. I am Dale Edwards, Dale the Voice, and we're going to get straight to the point right here on Real TV. Join me Monday to Friday, 4 to 6 p.m. when we talk the hard truth. We're not beating around the bush. We're getting straight to the point, dealing with real issues, social, politics, and much more. Monday to Friday, the only place to be is right here on Real TV.
In a world full of noise, choose clarity. The Real News digital publication is your choice for important news coverage. From influential figures shaping our nation to a powerful week in review that keeps you informed. The weekly edition is available for download on all of our social media platforms. Smart, sharp, essential. Real News digital publication. Stay informed, stay educated, stay empowered.
At least one in every 3 women in Trinidad and Tobago has experienced domestic violence within their lifetime.
More than 24 women are murdered by their partners every year. Many of them would have faced this problem in silence or alone.
Too many of us turn a blind eye or sit by while our women and girls face family violence.
All right, so welcome back. Access, we're going down, eh? Access to weapons and high levels of violence. Trinidad and Tobago experiences relatively high levels of violent crime compared with many countries. The availability of firearms and a broader culture of violence can increase the lethality of domestic disputes, relationship breakdown and separation. Research worldwide shows that the period when a victim tries to leave a relationship is often one of the most dangerous. Many domestic violence murders occur during or after separation when an abusive partner feels a loss of control. And that's what happened with our Venezuelan victim in Trinidad. She left the partner from an abusive situation. He saw her there, I think it was somewhere in Chaguanas, Monroe Road, somewhere there. He saw her there and stabbed her to death. Broad daylight, traffic, bumper to bumper traffic, and stabbed her. Where her friend who was with her had to run for her life into the grocery. Anybody who saw that video, that happened this week. Going a merry way, ended the relationship because of abuse. And he stabbed her in her stomach to death. That is what's going on here. Separated. Some men can't deal with separation. Some men don't know how to deal with, I don't want you no more. It's not making no sense. It's too toxic. Some men can't deal with that. Why the issues appear especially visible today? Several factors may contribute. Increased media coverage of domestic violence and femicide. Greater public awareness of willingness to report abuse. Better data collection by authorities. continued high levels of serious violence against women and men. I don't want to hear no woman alone. Come on, getting abused too. What experts recommend? Common recommendations include early intervention and education in schools, programs that teach healthy relationships and conflict resolution. These are the things that all need to be implemented in the Ministry of Education today, all in administration. Implement these things. I don't want to hear I'm not about no AI. Implement these things in the school and stop telling me about no technology because you're looking for the easy way out. Instead of you dealing with the nitty-gritty, you want to get AI to help you. Hush! I don't want to hear. Programs that teach healthy relationships and conflict resolutions, greater support for victims, including shelters and counseling, faster processing of protection orders and domestic violence cases, programs for men and boys that address harmful gender norms and emotional regulation. I gain all of these solutions. Remember I tell earlier, I don't come and complain alone. I just give all the solutions too. I don't go tit for tat with nobody. Because saying don't tit for tat with no solution is just making a such an excess empty noise. Stronger enforcement against repeat offenders. So if you're a repeat offender, sit down and take a little 120, take a 300 and something days because like you had a hearing, your hand hot, you like to lash, sit down and relax yourself. The high number of reports, more than 33,000 domestic violence incidents between, and they said that, suggests that domestic violence is not confined to any one community, income group, or ethnicity. It is a nationwide issue that affects people across Trinidad and Tobago society. Common thoughts and feelings. Hope that things will get changed. These are the thoughts. Most women and some men think that they hope things will change. Lies. Sometimes. Many people remember the loving, caring version of their partner and believe the abuse is temporary. Lies. Sometimes. They may think they didn't mean it. Things will get better. If we get counseling, things will be fixed. They weren't always like this. They was always like that. They just didn't show you in the beginning. Abusive relationships often cycle between violence and periods of affection, apologies and promises to change. Lies. Sometimes. Some of them. Fear. Fear is one of the strongest reasons people stay. They may fear being seriously harmed or killed if they leave. And if we watch the news, a lot of them died because of that. Losing their children, financial hardship. I wasn't really in financial hardship, but I thought I was. I was in a delusion in my mind. I think I was in the delusion of trying to be independent and think I was in love. I was in a dodo head situation. Public embarrassment, retaliation against family members, facts. In many domestic homicide cases worldwide, the risk actually increases when a victim tries to leave. I stand today, I was one of them who leave and I survive. Because I never looked back and he never came to look for me. So God was with me because the prayers of my mother was never ending. Emotional attachment and love, that could be one. Victims often still love their partner despite the abuse, and that is true. Abuse can coexist with affection, shared history, children, and emotional dependence. It has some people up to today still love their abusers. And it don't have to be physical alone. Abuse is abuse. Mental abuse, emotional abuse, psychological abuse. There's no different level to abuse. Abuse is abuse. A person may think, I love them. We've been together for years. Dotishness. I don't want to break up my family. Nonsense. Self-blame. Because you want to blame yourself. I don't know why you just get self-blame. Because when you are with somebody that is, what's the word again? The person who's a manipulator. It starts with an N. It's not in my head right now. It will come to me just now. When that person, they call them a narcissist. When you're with a narcissist and the narcissist manipulates your mind, you tend to self-blame. Nonsense come out of it. Abusers frequently manipulate victims into believing the abuse is their fault. Fire! Because you're with a narcissist. So here what I go say, maybe I provoked it. If I behaved differently, this wouldn't happen. I deserve this. That is what the narcissist manipulating in your mind. Come out of there. Take out that spirit. Over time, constant criticism can damage self-esteem. Financial dependence. I was one of them. Leaving may mean losing housing, but it ain't nothing but no losing housing. So that out of the page, but some people go through that. Losing financial support, well, I was too dotish, I did. But some people go through that. Struggling to provide for the children, and that's true. That is true. Because it has some men so deceitful. They refuse to mind the children out of psychological abuse and emotional abuse, mental. Oh, you want to leave me and not minding none of them children. See about them on their own and they want to be on their own. That's how men like to manipulate. All women like to manipulate. No. I talk on behalf of the men. So we have a man that wants to talk on behalf of the men. So on the second half, we're going for a break. So we want to hear a man's perspective. So let me hear what you have to say. Because you better come strong. But I always stand for the men as well, eh? I always stand for them, but you want a bacchanal method. Oh, you back it up? You say you back it up. No, I always stand for men because men go through emotional, psychological, and physical abuse. I always stand for men. I always say men go through it too, but they do not report it. They are afraid to report it sometimes because of ego and sometimes because of shame. But I stand with men as well. Because it has some deceitful, wicked, bad-minded women out there that need some holy water. If you put the holy water on them, the skin might burn. But we're going for a break, and when we come back, bridging the gap.
You're viewing Real TV. Thanks for choosing us.
Hello, everyone. I am the Reverend Clifford Rawlins, minister of the Diego Martin United Church and a published author. I am inviting you to join me on Real TV for Honest to God, where we are honest with what Scripture is and says and addressing topical issues in Christianity in a postmodern context and post-colonial Caribbean landscape. Provocative, controversial, stimulating, and above all, openly honest. Every Tuesday at 2 to 3 p.m. right here on Real TV.
Honest to God, I'm coming clean. Honest to God.
Let's get straight to the point. I am Dale Edwards, Dale the Voice, and we're going to get straight to the point right here on Real TV. Join me Monday to Friday, 4 to 6 p.m. when we talk the hard truth. We're not beating around the bush. We're getting straight to the point, dealing with real issues, social, politics, and much more. Monday to Friday, the only place to be is right here on Real TV.
In a world full of noise, choose clarity. The Real News digital publication is your choice for important news coverage. From influential figures shaping our nation to a powerful week in review that keeps you informed. The weekly edition is available for download on all of our social media platforms. Smart, sharp, essential. Real News digital publication. Stay informed. Stay educated, stay empowered.
Why women would not leave. Sometimes they have nowhere to go. For some people, staying feels like the only practical option. Concern for children. Some parents stay because they believe keeping the family together is best for their children even when abuse is present. And that is not the case. And I said it before and I will say it again. When you feel you are staying to keep the home together, you are affecting the minds of the children. You are an adult, you can find your way, but an innocent child, young, it is going to affect them badly in their psychological life growing up. So you, at the end of the day, was not thinking about the children, you were thinking about yourself. Because if you wanted to think about your children, you would have packed up your Georgie bundle and go. Don't use your children as no excuse to keep a happy home, to keep the family together. Your main concern is your children's well-being. Pack up your Georgie bundle and bust the tape. You're not staying there because of them, you're staying there for yourself. So you see that, don't give me that nonsense. Because if you care about your children, you would have quietly find a way. It always have a way. And go, yes, he might come and think, he might threaten you, he might whatever. But do the rightful thing, go through the courts, go through the process. Manipulation is a serious thing. It has so many women that had to run if only watching movie enough with Jennifer Lopez. She ran from state to state because she was thinking about the well-being of her child. She stopped thinking about herself and the family together enough. And she had to take up she Georgie bundle and run. Sometimes you have to do that. Yes, Trinidad small. But go through the process, the legal process, so you know you have your documents behind your back. Do what is right first. But me ain't got all the rest. I will leave that alone. Others fear custody battles. Children losing contact with parents. If that man or woman is abusive, at that point in time, when things are rough and very toxic, no child is supposed to be in that in that parent's space. No child. For the benefit and the well-being of that child, no child not supposed to be in that parent's space. If you're in a toxic and abusive state, yes, the child is supposed to be around their mother or their father. But for the well-being of that child at that point in time, go through the courts and advise them that your child need counseling first. Because you can't have a child around a toxic parent, an abusive parent. That is madness. That is diabolical. Raising children alone, yes, not the first and it will never be the last. Because plenty women do it. Yes, times getting harder now, food more expensive. But this is a point in life where you will know your strength as a woman or a man. You studying raising a child alone? How about you can never raise a child because you're 6 feet under? And the system had to raise your child. Think logical. Shame and social pressure. I find it's about time we come out of this system where you're feeling shame to say that you're domestically abused or you went through domestic violence. Time for that to change. Because too many people are ashamed and we need to come out of that. Victims may worry about being judged. Come out of that. Yes, it's a process. You have to go counseling is important. If you can't pay a therapist, there is free counseling. Go to family planning. Go to the Ministry of Social Development. There's counseling there for you. Go to church. Talk to a pastor. Talk to an elder. Family disappointment. Why would you be in an abusive relationship and your family disappointed? Well, then your family wicked. Because if your family know you're going through a domestic situation and you feel like you disappoint your family, that's why you need to go to therapy, because you need to learn to self-love. I tell you, I went through a whole year, a process of self-love, you know. I'm still going through a process of self-love. You have to love yourself enough to know your worth. Religious and cultural expectations. No religion should judge. No religion should judge what you are going through in your domestic home. No religion. And anytime that church or mosque or temple or wherever, Buddhist, Buddha, whatever thing, wherever they judge you, run from them. Production, let me hear AI. Let me say with AI. No, but in your church, wherever you go to pray, it should be a place of security. It should be a place of solace. So don't feel that because in your religious place, you're feeling that you're disappointed expectations. No. You are a victim and nobody should criticize or chastise you as a victim. Community gossip. To hell with what they say. Everybody like to talk. Right now, they're talking about me. I don't talk to half of people where I live in, and they always have something to say about me. But at the end of the day, people don't pelt a green mango. You hear what I'm telling you? People don't pelt a green mango unless they want to make anchor. And that's seasonal. You know what bad? You know what gossip about me? In my family. Anchor. For Polori. Production, leave me alone. You're in my ears talking nonsense. No, but telling you. In my family, they're gossiping and they're making up story. Oh, God, let me tell you something. Right? There's BBC, CNN, Fox. Listen to me. They're not real TV, okay? They ain't real. They come with the real news. They come with fakery, the bakery. They in my community, they all in talk. Oh God, what up over Toko? They got gossip. But I just feel good when I walk through my village. I say, yes, we have to talk about Naka. Because nobody don't pelt down green mango. So forget about the community gossip. Let them talk. People will talk about it day and night, in and out. That will never stop. You can be at church, girl, holding that Bible and still talk about you. You can't run away from that. You can't please everybody. This can be especially powerful in close-knit communities. Trauma bonding. Repeated cycles of abuse followed by affection can create a powerful emotional attachment, sometimes called trauma bond. So some people just go through that. I ain't going through no trauma bond. Relationship becomes unpredictable. Abuse creates fear and distress. Reconciliation brings relief and comfort. The cycle repeats. And that is true. You will be comfortable at first, oh yes. And then 2 months after, you get in a poor form again. This can make leaving emotionally difficult, even when the victim recognizes the danger. What about the abusive partner? Not all abusive people think the same way, but some common patterns include desire for control or dominance, extreme jealousy or possessiveness, fear of abandonment, difficulty in managing anger, belief that they are entitled to control their partner, minimizing or justifying their behavior, which that last part has been all the time. They always have a justification for the behavior. Many abusers do not see themselves as abusers. They may blame their partner, stress, alcohol, or outside circumstances. What outsiders often misunderstand. Friends and family often see only the violence and ask, why don't you leave? It's not just so. The person inside the relationship may be the balancing love and fear, hope and danger, financial survival, children's well-being, threats from the abuser. From the outside, leaving may seem obvious. From the inside, it can feel frightening, complicated, or even impossible. One of the most important findings from domestic violence research is that staying does not necessarily mean a person wants the abuse. Often it reflects the difficult choices they perceive between immediate safety, emotional attachment, financial survival, and the risk of associated with leaving. But we're going for a break. And I have 2 videos to show for you back to back. And we come into our close. But today we dealt with this domestic violence. And the most I can bring it to you is the realest I can bring it to you. I ain't sugarcoating nothing for nobody. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
You're viewing Real TV. Thanks for choosing us.
Ladies and gentlemen, young people, senior citizens, it is my pleasure and privilege to invite you to look at the program Inspired on Real TV at 2 p.m. every Wednesday afternoon. Inspired is designed to lift your spirits, to help you overcome depression and failure so you could be an outstanding, extraordinary success. We have special experts every Wednesday who will inspire you to do better, to be your best self. So may God bless you. And remember, every Wednesday at 2 p.m., please look out for the program Inspire.
Hello everyone, I'm Kwesi Park. I invite you to join me right here on Real TV for the program Unfiltered Youth. This series will engage a panel of young persons from a very diverse cross-section of our society, talking or discussing the real issues affecting them in their daily lives. So join me right here on Real TV on Saturdays from 1 to 2 p.m. with repeats on Sundays and Wednesdays.
Hi, I'm Zalisa Budu Singh Rupani, and I'm inviting you to join me for Conversations with Zalisa right here on Real TV. It's not just another talk show, it's a space for real stories, real insight, and real impact. We cover it all: health, law, parenting, relationships, drug and substance abuse, mental health, social issues, and so much more, with expert guests who help bring clarity to life's most important questions. So whether you're looking to be informed, empowered, or simply inspired, this show is for you. Weekdays at 10 a.m. with repeats on Real TV.
I was sexually abused as a child by a family friend. I did not receive counseling or social intervention until I was in my early 40s. And at 27 years of age, I got married. Things seemed fine until my husband started to abuse me verbally, emotionally, and physically. After 8 years and without any support from family or friends, I made the decision to leave. My name is Cavell Mills, and I'm a police officer and CEO of Choice Foundation. My personal experiences prompted me to work with abused children and domestic violence victims. I didn't want others to go through alone what I did, so I decided to become a source of support, help, and inspiration. I wanted to do more, so in 2017, I decided to form the Choice Foundation in Tobago. In Tobago, there's the perception that domestic abuse is a private family matter. People believe that they should not air their dirty laundry in public, so reporting and seeking help for domestic violence is not the norm. That's why the Choice Foundation does so much work in education, equipping women with an understanding of what is domestic violence and providing information about how to safely leave an abusive relationship is critical to tackling the issue. Part of our outreach involves doing workshops throughout the education system on topics such as gender-based violence, domestic violence, and child abuse. The Choice Foundation is part of the EU and UN's Spotlight Initiative. Through the initiative, we have received a small grant to support the work we do in educating the public about gender-based violence. The greatest misunderstanding the public has about domestic violence is that it's easy for a woman in an abusive relationship to confront and leave the perpetrator. Again, that's why education is so important. To those who are currently in abusive relationships, what I would want to say to you is it is possible to restart your life. You can live a safe, normal, and happy life, but that begins with seeking help and counseling. The process is not easy, but things can get better, and we are here to help.
You do not have to suffer in silence. You have rights. Help is available. Just reach out. Those are the messages that we've been bringing to women and girls. My name is Sabrina Mawalabach, General Manager of the Coalition Against Domestic Violence. In Trinidad and Tobago, 1 in every 3 women has experienced at least one form of violence or intimate partner violence in their lifetime. Annually, an average of 25 women are killed every year as a result of domestic violence. Women here in Trinidad and Tobago have good access to education. They make up roughly 55% of the workforce. But there's a dark parallel to that story. Cultural norms still exist where men are seen as the drivers of power and control, and violence is accepted as a method of exercising that power and control. There has been some changes in these cultural beliefs, and this is as a result of the work done mainly by civil society organizations in Trinidad and Tobago, who have worked tirelessly over the years around public education and around changes in legislation through their activism and advocacy. But there still needs a lot of work to be done. The Coalition Against Domestic Violence is one of several civil society organizations that are part of the EU and UN's Spotlight Initiative. Funding from the initiative will help CADV and its members, which includes shelters, keep the issue of gender-based violence on the national agenda, as well as provide support services to women and girls who are in abusive environments. We advocate for legislative changes because women and girls who are in violent situations must be protected under the law. They must be protected by those tasked with protection, that is, the protective services. So we also advocate for efficiency in protection orders and other actions associated with the court system. And of course, we are always spreading the message that help is out there. You just need to reach out. You do not have to endure this abusive relationship on your own. We are available. Take the first step and receive the help and the support that you deserve and that you're entitled to.
All right, so that's our topic for today. Remember, let me deal with the issues that are at hand in Trinidad and Tobago. And we coming to a close. Thank you for being there with me. Thank you for logging on. Thank you for sticking with me. I am here talking on behalf of the voiceless, not the AI. The voiceless, the ones that do not have a platform to speak out. And I am here to speak on behalf of everybody in Trinidad and Tobago about anything we're dealing with, all matters, current affairs and social affairs. But I'm leaving you with our main favorite song. We had a change, And until we start to see some small change, the song will change. But the song right now staying the same. Thank you for staying with me. Be safe. God is love. God is light. Make him the center of your everyday going in and coming out. Be safe on the nation's road. See you tomorrow, same time, same place.
If you can look as far as I see, within this great land we call TNT, there's birds and bees, rivers and seas, pretty woman bringing man to their knees. Treasures of this blessed land we always neglect like ISO and PAN. I find it so strange the way we arrange. Still this nation don't know how to change. To some change might just mean a new car, could mean less than $1. To most change have this nice scent we usually get from the government. You see, change is something we always say, but every time we change things remain the same way. Things keep getting worse and worse, so this is what I propose. Let's change the change for a better nation. Change the change for all foundations. Change the change so that we can say that this nation here came from quite down there. I say change the change within the school systems. Stop changing ministers and change what we teach them. But things won't change despite all we do if change doesn't start with you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's murders, killings galore, so much gunmen fighting needless war. I can't tell you stay, can't tell you go, cause this still the land we used to know. Homeless, every corner you meet, and they're complimented by our dirty streets. Then we wonder why in our sister isle, why they don't like Trinis to come and spend time. Well, you see, it's much more than paving a whole road, and it's greater than fixing a lamp pole. Change is about the whole nation and how we are portrayed when the party done. Who set these standards in my TNT? Really wish somebody here could tell me. It's just the same thing again and again, like we leaders don't use the brain. So change the change within our country. Change the change so the whole world could see. Change the change for a better future, so we don't have to depend on our next mayor. Say change the change within the society, otherwise we have a bandit factory. But things won't change despite all we do if change doesn't start with you. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts, guests, and contributors, and do not reflect the official views of Real TV, its management, or affiliates. Content is provided for informational and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised.